Sworkshops Rebooted, My State of Mind, D-Case, SocialWorks Prom, you know what it is. Dance with us while we wait.
I love you too. Scotty! What's up, friends?
Gonna let this run for a minute. Join us in a dance and a celebration. Today we celebrate Chicago. Celebrate you.
Yeah.
Celebrate you. Yeah. I don't know who else. Maybe some DKs. My State of Mind. Thanks for joining, everyone. Hang around. It's going to be a great conversation, great programming today. If you go anywhere, it's your loss, I promise you. We got resources, we're going to have some great information, some great guests. You are here for the real deal. SocialWorks Live, Rebooted. And kick things off here in a couple minutes. Thanks again for joining us, everybody.
Find your anchor.
Hope you got your masks at home. We're tested. We're good. Everything's safe here. We've been in our bubble, social distancing, getting tested, bringing masks. I got my hand sanitizer right here. Hope you do too.
Whoever, thank you for that donation. Thank you.
Thank you. Shout out. First donation of the stream right up.
Let's
Man.
go. We didn't even start.
Yo, who's going to follow that one up? Find Your Anchor in the house. What's going on? Everyone, please check out Find Your Anchor. Doing amazing work. We all have got sadness. They're there to help support you.
Ooh, somebody liking the dance moves. Okay, what you got? Okay.
Oh, you're going to switch it up on me, DJ? Justin has the best playlist.
We'll get started in just a couple minutes. We're just waiting for everybody to join.
Stick around.
Right here, we're fundraising for Sworkshops, but we'll go into that in a little bit. Let's get the groove going. Let's keep the groove going.
Oh, a couple more shout-outs. I see Pam Earhart in the space. Taste for the Homeless. Oh, Joe! So My State of Mind is happening because of tons of great interns. Shout out, Joe. Thanks for joining us today.
I love you, Joe.
Tell your friends. If you're here, tell your friends to come join you here. This is an experience. This is a room. This is not a live you're used to, all right? Today we're changing things up a bit, making it all about our mental wellness, all about the youth. Thank you again to D-Case for having us here today. We'll talk more about it.
So we're giving out shout-outs right now. Neo Chaser 2047. I see you in the building.
Oh, hey, Nick Davis. SocialWorks regular, OG.
Michelle Tompkins,
the corner store's
in
here.
the building.
A fave. Michelle, hoping all is well for you and the little one today. Thank you for joining. Stick around, people.
This is not a DJ set, even though the DJ is going crazy.
Remember, music is mental health. It literally stimulates our brain to feel better. If you haven't listened to your favorite song today, cue it up.
You know what? It's almost about that time. Can we get it going?
All right, DJ.
Yo, DJ, run it back.
Thank you.
All right, cool. We are here. Y'all are getting it. Thank you for that. What's up, y'all? Circles and Ciphers in the building.
5 donations. Come on.
Wow.
Thank you.
Wow, that was just off the dance moves. Check out what we have in store for you all today. So today we are back. SocialWorks, Sworkshops, Reboot. We're over here talking about rebooting Sworkshops. But what is Sworkshops? Sworkshops was birthed because our seniors, graduating seniors, were unable to go to prom this year because of everything that was canceled. It just wasn't safe. So
Can you imagine that your senior year?
I can't imagine that. I like luncheon, junior prom, senior prom, all of that. But not being able to really have that cherry on top after 4 long years is super hard.
Resilience, you senior, shout out to you.
But what we did is we started Sworkshops as a prom fundraiser. So all during this COVID and all during since May, we've been gathering funds. So when the time is right, SocialWorks can present a one-of-a-kind prom celebration to the class of 2020.
It's going to blow up.
And honestly, because of the new information we heard from our school district, we might actually have to do it again for the class of 2021.
So we're looking out for 2020 seniors, 2021 seniors. If this goes on another year, 2022, we got you as well.
Exactly. Enough said. And you all know, because you're tuned in right now, that SocialWorks does have your back. A little bit about SocialWorks, if you found this out from a friend or don't really know what you're getting yourself into. SocialWorks is a nonprofit founded by Grammy Award-winning Chance the Rapper, and we empower the youth through arts, education, and civic engagement. You might have heard of us because of our OpenMike programming. You might have heard of us because of the $5.1 million we gave to CPS schools, 51 schools, 100% graduation rate, so many stats about that. We have our KOK programming.
Absolutely, best summer camp in Chicago.
Yes, as well as our work with Michael Earhart and Pamela Earhart with Taste for the Homeless. So we do a whole lot of things within the city of Chicago dealing with early childhood development, homelessness, in-school education. But right now we're here to talk about one of our most revolutionary, and if I may, one of our most revolutionary and forward-thinking projects, My State of Mind. And we're going to be talking about what that entails. I know it has some tech to do with it. I know that we gave some grants with it.
We did.
But, before we get started on all of that, I just want to give a shout out to DCASE, the Department of Cultural Affairs and Special Events, for putting on this very special event that we have here. DCASE, this whole process, this whole program is done with My Shy, My Future Teen Tuesdays. So we hope that we have a lot of youth tuning in, about 35 youths tuning in right now. And we hope that we're able to, give you some avenues, some access to, deal with your own mental health, as well as, some encouragement about what your friends over here at SocialWorks have been working on, to help you along with that journey. So with that being said, I would like to pass it along to my good friend, Nicholas Heineman, to tell you about today's programming and a little bit about My State of Mind.
Appreciate you. And again, big shout out to SocialWorks Executive Director over here. He's accessible. He's always here for you. And I promise there's not a nonprofit out here that's looking out for you and will listen in the way SocialWorks will. So reach out to us, reach out to Justin. But thank you. My name is Nick Heineman. I'm the project manager with My State of Mind. What that basically just means is I get to work with a lot of really great people throughout Chicago to come up with a new mental health solution. And what's really exciting about SocialWorks is we've always molded to the needs of our city as quickly and as effectively as we can. But when we started to realize that mental health was not only entrenched in myself, us as staff members, our volunteers, most importantly our constituents, we realized that the access to the care that some of us take for granted, some of us aren't aware of, or some of us access regularly with mental health practitioners wasn't available to everyone we worked with. Right. And it was something that was frustrating because we knew of all these great providers that existed out there. Sista Afia Community Wellness, the Corner Store Chicago. So many providers that when you find them, they're usually not listed in the main mental health resources you find online, Psychology Today. Exactly.
Page 17.
Sometimes page 23, and by the time you're there, you're exhausted. Searching for mental health help is hard. So we decided to make the process easier. My State of Mind represents the next step in a mental health guidebook. And we use the word guidebook, but what My State of Mind is a tech platform that's an experience for everybody in every background, all ages. And what's most important, I think, about My State of Mind is the fact that it doesn't just feature your therapists, your clinical providers, which are super important, but it gives you those starting points. The non-clinical providers that give you a comfort to access that clinical care. Go to therapy one day, go to counseling, but sometimes it starts with meditation, mindfulness, and nutrition. So we centralized all that and made sure that all of it was relevant for you here in Chicago. And My State of Mind will be launching when it's safe to do so. Yes, and as the years go by, you'll see it grow here in Chicago. But there was another big part of My State of Mind that had to deal with access in Chicago and access to funding. there's something about a great idea, right? And a lot of our mental health institutions have these amazing ideas, but what they lack is the funding to support that idea. We at SocialWorks are very grateful to be working with funding for My State of Mind directly, but we had to share some of that wealth because equity in this city means that everybody has a fair chance to develop the programming and the community supports that they aim to see. So My State of Mind granted 6 organizations $100,000 each. And what's great about that grant is we didn't ask them what to do. We didn't make them attribute a certain program with the grant. We said, what do you want to do?
Yeah.
What's in the bank of ideas that, if not for budget, you could go ahead and actualize? And we've seen some really great programs from our 6 grantees.
Yeah. Who are our 6 grantees?
So some really wonderful organizations out there. And just like our My State of Mind guidebook, what you see with our grantees is that blend of clinical programming and organizations and non-clinical. It's holistic. We know that our whole body self relies on both of those modalities of care, and that's something we wanted to bring to our grant. So our first grant winner from the 6 was an amazing organization, Youth Guidance. If you're not familiar with Youth Guidance by name, you sure know their programming, bam and wow. I think that Youth Guidance has always represented supporting youth for their mental health, for their traumatic experiences, but also giving them outlets to express themselves and build skills. One of our next grantees was the Chicago Children's Advocacy Center. Shout out to the Chicago Children's Advocacy Center. They're working with youth who have not only experienced traumatic situations, but are looking for long terms of clinical care that's unfortunately required. But in that moment when you need consistent care due to a traumatic experience as a young child, you absolutely need that intensive and sustained care. So shout out to them for providing that. Our third grantee is Healthcare Alternative Systems. Great community wellness provider, providing culturally competent services for the Latinx community, our Latin American communities, and I think that they've really represented what it means to bring access to our south side of Chicago, in the Little Village neighborhood and so on.
We got 3 more.
We got 3 more great grantees. The next one I'll mention is Sinai Health Systems, who will be joining us today. Sinai, you may know as the hospital, but underneath the layers of the hospital is actually a really great behavioral mental health program. It's called Under the Rainbow, and what Under the Rainbow does through outpatient, inpatient...
We'll let them talk about it.
We got Sinai joining us today, so shout out to them, but just know they provide really great work for teens who want to express themselves in the clinical space as well. Our 5th grant winner will be Circles and Ciphers, and I'll hold back. They're joining us today as well, so we'll let Akeem of Circles and Ciphers go ahead and give you the full picture. And our last grant winner is someone really unique and special to SocialWorks. Amazing woman, amazing team, and I'm talking about Light of Loving Kindness. If you're familiar with holistic mental health, it has to do with, of course, yoga and breath work, but it goes a lot deeper than that.
Gongs?
Yeah, absolutely. Tarot card reading, incense exercises through mindfulness, but most importantly, they do provide clinical care mixed in with that yoga, mixed in with those different modalities that are comfortable. Shout out to Cassandra at Light of Loving Kindness, one of our last grant winners of the 6. We hope to be able to provide more grants in the future. So if you
that's why the donate button is so
we're up to
important.
6.
So thank you. We got Circles and Ciphers in the building. Right now, as you all can see, the My State of Mind program lends itself to, the tech that we are building, that universal guidebook, but also critical investment into the mental health sector of Chicago. So, to let you all, underneath the fold of what that investment looks like, we're going to bring Circles and Ciphers on right now. Their executive director, Akeem Soyan, to go ahead and tell us what that impact looks like.
Right on. I've been so excited for this first guest. Everyone put your hands together at home for Akeem joining us live now. If your friends aren't on, tell them to join now.
You're not going to want to miss it.
Circles and Ciphers represents the next steps in mental health, how we can actually engage youth. So right now we're waiting for Circles and Ciphers to join. And
how y'all doing? What's up, Nate? What's up, Justin?
What's up? Happy afternoon. Happy Tuesday. What's going on, everybody?
Not much. We're in the studio.
Ooh.
Circles and Ciphers studio right now.
What's cooking up in the studio? I have to ask. I'm sorry.
What'd you say?
What's good behind the board today? What's cooking up in the studio?
Marty, did you want to break it down for him?
Oh yeah, man. We just chilling in here today. We got some small work to take care of, but for the last couple of weeks, we got the opportunity to work with some brilliant youth inside here who have made some awesome tracks. So we're just super excited for the future.
Awesome.
We are too. We are too. You know, if there's anything that I did learn from our work, or well, just from being around Chancellor, our founders, you probably got to turn those snares up. So it's just a little bit of a tidbit between me and you. Just turn the snares up a bit.
Let the engineer know. For sure.
But let's just go into it. You know, for the people who don't know Circles and Ciphers, what is Circles and Ciphers, and you know, just how can people connect with you all?
Yeah, definitely. Circles and Ciphers is a youth-led organization based on the north side of Chicago in Rogers Park. We are focused on youth who are directly impacted by the prison industrial complex and violence around the city. And, you know, our main focus is really abolishing the prison industrial complex. And we do that through peace circles. We do that through our Women of Color circle, our freestyle circle, our LGBTQ circle, our community circle, and all these different types of circles to where we get to enhance the conversation, whether it's around mental health or certain things going around in the city or just everyday life struggles and things like that. So we've been doing that. We've been around since 2010. Emmanuel, who is the executive director, I'm the creative arts liaison, and Marco's the studio coordinator. You know, I've been at the org for at least 5 years now. Marco's, I think, what, 3?
A couple, yeah, maybe 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, so we've been at it for a while, just really trying to make sure we put on for the city in the right way. So, yeah.
Right on, right on. And you know what's so interesting about Circles and Ciphers? You mentioned a couple of those groups, and we'll get into your programming. But throughout this, you know, how have you been able to support those groups with a pandemic going on? You know, what has the programming and the outreach looked like since March?
Great question.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
Go ahead, Marco.
Yeah, that's real. We've been doing community drop-offs. On Fridays, we go around and we drop off things to people who may need certain stuff, whether it's food or just certain things that they may need inside their house. We work with a lot of youth who come from like these disenfranchised areas. So we just want to make sure that they're comfortable during this pandemic and that we can be a helping hand. Also, we did the social distance challenge a couple of weeks back on our Instagram.
Right
to
on.
make sure that we just encourage people to, you know, just keep a distance, you know, and then to stay in the house and to just be aware. Exactly.
Yeah.
Put on a mask, gloves.
Yeah.
You know, and just be cautious because we do realize that this virus is serious. So we just wanted to promote that, you know, just promote being healthy.
And then, yeah, and to just add on to it too, because I know part of the discussion what we talked about is just around mental health and really thinking about, you know, like it sucks being cooped up in the house, not really having much to do. And we were like, man, how can we create a challenge where people could participate online? Like we have people from different parts of the country, in the UK, you know, joining the challenge.
Wow.
It's just a beautiful thing to just see how people interacted. And, you know, people provided some dope bars, some dope art. And it's just a way to keep people's minds healthy during that time. And even now, you know, so we try to keep that spirit alive through the studio.
And I really like that some of your programming, you know, when this whole thing hit us, because it hit everybody hard, you know, you still stay true to yourself, providing that artistic wellness, but also not forgetting that people are people, you know, and they need some cash flow, they need some food, you know, we talking about, you know, what's that, what do you say, Maslow's, you know, basic hierarchy of needs. So like, I just really appreciate you all being nimble enough and really just like have that forefront to like first recognize, you know, your people, the Chicagoans, you know, as humans, you know, so shout out to y'all, you know, that's why y'all won the grant.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And with that, like, we're here to talk a little bit about the grant you received. Obviously, we did not expect a pandemic coming up when you were awarded the grant, but we chose you because you're accessible to the community, and as you didn't even know at the beginning, you provide a really rich mental health and behavioral health resource. Talk about what the grant's going to do with Circles and Ciphers and some of those plans.
Yeah, so I mean, before the quarantine, and you know all the COVID stuff, we used some of the funds to support the studio fundraiser or the studio fundraiser event, and really put on and support our young people. We've been also providing stipends weekly, or like there's a system called the 3 in a row system, in which, you know, if you come to one of our virtual circles, whether it's freestyle circle or woman of color circle, and, you know, you've been struggling and you've been really going down bad with the money, we were able to provide $60 stipend on that 4th week. So we've been using the funds to continue to push that. We've also been using the funds to support some of the leaders in the space. And then really just thinking about, you know, ways in which we could continue this mutual aid response during this time. Yeah. And I think a lot of what the funds were going into was, you know, whether it's a social distance, things like the social distance challenge and our wellness check-ins, checking in with the young people we work with. Oops, sorry about that. I almost played music, but checking in with the young people we work with our clinical psychologists, and making sure people are just in a right state of mind. So a lot of the funds been going in through that, and a lot of the arts that we have here through the studio, and making sure people are able to stay afloat. Because we've been having, like Marco said, we've been having young people come through. You know, we haven't even officially opened. Like, we just, it's like, man, people's like, man, I need to record, I need to spit, I don't have money, woo. And we've been finding ways to just bring people along. Marco's been heading out. I don't know if you want to add.
Yeah, like, that's like the coolest thing about the studio is just being able to provide a place that the youth can go and just record for free, you know, or for like a discounted price. We understand that music is a good way to express yourself, especially when it comes to mental health. So you know, I feel like providing this space for them to come, you know, and just being able to vent, you know, especially during this pandemic time, has been very, very key. And we're just super excited for the future because we have a lot of programming planned for the youth for the rest of 2020, hopefully, and then 2021 for the future. But yeah, it just seems like this is the very beginning of the journey. So
that's amazing, and we're happy to support. When we talk about, you know, you're dropping a lot of things that I know our base loves. When you talk about free recording time and ways to get involved, so
I was gonna say that sounds like the most affordable studio. If you might come for the recording and end up with a community of peers to support. So, I mean, what?
So one more time, you know, like what are some ways that that people can get involved and take advantage of this programming that's still happening right now? Yeah,
so definitely I would say we're still putting together what the outline looks like, because I know we have it totally free. We're just gonna get a whole bunch of people who's gonna ransack the place up. But we're trying to figure out ways in which we can incorporate the restorative justice aspect and the circles, and whether it's a way to incorporate some of the values in our space, whether it's freedom, whether it's trust, loyalty, these type of things, and using that to kind of give people a chance to express themselves, and that be like the ticket to almost coming in and say, hey, you know what, I want to record here, but let's record about this, and then also you can record your personal things. So we're still trying to figure out, and then also do a discounted race, but we haven't fully opened it up because, you know, with COVID, it's just been hard, and the studio's not too big, so we didn't want to have too many people in at once. But one way you definitely can support is definitely through our PayPal, which is on our website, circlesandciphers.org, and then also through our YCC Collective, which is directly supporting. If you check on our page, it's directly supporting people who are incarcerated right now under 30. And there's a link. If you check it out, if they need funds, they need food, resources, things like that, you can directly, you know, affect those people in that way. I mean, even with the studio, we had a young person who was incarcerated, and he was going through a really tough time. And we were like, man, what can we do? I mean, there was just a lot of logistics that were going around, but we had a community of people who know and love him. And we said, man, if you guys could just send a whole bunch of audio tracks to us, just of hope. He had lost his father and things like that. And, you know, we were able to stitch together the file. Shout out to Ace Spade. He produced the beat, put it together, and we were able to send it to him when he got out, luckily, from Cook County Jail. So just trying to figure out ways to support. Marco was a big help in that process.
That's amazing. I can't imagine how to transition a studio to be digital or to be social distance, and you found a way. That's amazing.
Got to.
Well, Marco, appreciate meeting you, man. Keep holding it down. The teams, you already know. Please keep up the work. It doesn't go unnoticed. You know, any last words for our viewers?
What'd you say, Justin?
Say any last words for our viewers?
Yeah. Make sure that you guys follow us on our Instagram, Twitters. if anybody has any questions, feel free to shoot us a DM. We'll definitely get back to you. And yeah, man, make sure that you guys stay COVID free out there.
Yeah, stay healthy, keep your
You
mind
too.
fresh, do what you got to do. Self-care is important, man. It's the best care, so we can take care of others.
Yes, sir.
And so we stay in tune.
Great note to end it on. Thanks, y'all. Be safe. Be well. All right.
Talk soon.
We'll see you soon.
Talk to you soon.
That was amazing.
Yeah, it was.
Oh my God. I love talking to circles and ciphers. And again, as they said, get to their Instagram page right now to support what they're fundraising for. In the meantime, hit that donation. We are fundraising for a prom right now.
Yes, Sworkshops.
Sworkshops. And who's supporting us today? Why are we here today?
Well, I can't even continue without mentioning DCASE. The DCASE, the Department of Cultural Events and Special Affairs.
Yeah.
Actually it's Cultural Affairs and Special Events. But regardless, we just want to appreciate them and shout out them for allowing us to take over their Teen Tuesdays, providing some wellness options for the youth here in Chicago. Also, I want to mention another sponsor of ours, Chance the Rapper's Big Day.
Oh,
yes,
anniversary style.
There's nothing that says, you have a beautiful life than having a happy wife. So everybody go out there and stream the Big Day.
Schedule vacations for your 5-year plan, people.
Yes,
All right.
yes. Also, I think we have two more people to talk about.
2 more guests. Hang around. If your friends aren't on the live yet, please make sure they join us here to donate, because our next guest is an amazing one.
Do we have Sinai in the building?
Sinai Health, are we here? We're going to be speaking with Greg from the Under the Rainbow program. Very excited to connect with him here on the live. But yeah, Sinai will be joining us. To everyone who's donated, I see the donations have gone up. Thank you so much. We're going to be throwing the best prom. Hey!
How's it going, guys?
Hey, Greg!
How are you?
Welcome to the My State of Mind Sworkshops Rebooted. Are you familiar with DK's through your work?
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome. They're supporting youth all over the
Yes,
city.
yeah. They can't help themselves. No. Well, for anybody who doesn't know Sinai Health, why don't you go ahead and let us know who you are, what you're doing, and how people can connect with you.
Yeah, so I'm Greg. I'm the program manager of the Child and Adolescent program here at Sinai Health System. It's called Under the Rainbow. It's our child and adolescent mental health program. We're a multidisciplinary team of psychologists, social workers, psychiatrists, a really wonderful, energetic, passionate team providing services to the communities around the hospital and all over the city, really. So.
Amazing. I have met the team from Sinai, and especially in the Under the Rainbow program, working day in and day out to support the mental health and wellness of young people throughout Chicago. So big shout out to Sinai there.
So what are some ways that youth can stay safe during the pandemic, and what are some ways that you all are supporting them right now?
Yeah, good question. So, I mean, as Circles and Ciphers was talking about, so much has changed, right, in the last couple of months. We've had to really re-envision everything about how we do therapy, how we provide services to people in the pandemic. So we've had to change a lot about what we do on a day-to-day basis. I mean, everything about what we do on a day-to-day basis. So, our team is working remotely currently, providing therapy via telehealth, keeping in touch with their clients, providing services that way. And we're thinking about, working on some ways to kind of bring back some in-person services for families who maybe have difficulties accessing telehealth services. So kind of balancing both of those things, but, also just trying to be creative and kind of harness some of that energy and passion that our team has about bringing those services to people when they can't see them in person. So one of the things we've been able to do with the My State of Mind funds, which is really wonderful, and again, the flexibility that you guys have given us to really use that in a creative way has been wonderful. We usually have a lot of events here in the clinic for families to reduce stigma around mental health, to build connection and community among families who are experiencing similar stressors, and we just haven't been able to do those things. So one of the biggest things we've been able to do is send things to families, right? Things that they could use, resources, materials that they could use in therapy. We call them therapeutic care packages. So we've been able to send right around 300 of these therapeutic care packages to the families that we work with. Art supplies, things for creative and expressive arts, games, information on stress, stress reduction, mindfulness, all kinds of things that they can use with their families, but then they can also use with their therapists over their telehealth sessions to kind of enhance that. Everything that we do, a lot of the work that we do with kids is expressive and creative. It's play-based. It's interpersonal. It's very relational. So this transition to doing everything over video has been really hard. But so we're just looking for different ways to kind of keep some of that connection there for people and make sure that people are getting the services that they need.
We've heard of care packages. We've sent out care packages, as we heard, Circles and Ciphers, but I just think that's so unique to bring the conversation of mental health into the home through these tangible resources or activities that a family can do together. And without maybe knowing it or not, they're relating to each other's mental health and wellness together during a time where we couldn't need that support more. So I just think that's fantastic, Greg. And to all the people that put those kits together that might be watching, shout out to you as well.
Yes.
So we wanted to talk about the grant, and you alluded to it a little bit, but just kind of discuss, winning the grant and what some of those plans are, of course, now for the pandemic, but what some of those plans will be with the grant when things may return to normal. Yeah,
so again, we really couldn't anticipate that we'd be needing to use the funds in this way. When we won, we were super excited. Our team was really, excited about it. Like I said, some of those in-person events that we have, we're hoping, during the 3-year period of this grant that we will get back to those, and we will continue to have those events, continue to be able to reduce that stigma around mental health, to connect families together, reduce barriers to treatment, all of those things. But in the meantime, another way that we've been able to use that is to make sure that our team, our therapists, are getting trained on how to use telehealth appropriately and effectively for play therapy with kids who've experienced trauma. With all of the, our team is extremely skilled at the work that they do, working with youth and families who have experienced trauma. But this is a totally new world for us. The telehealth environment is totally new. Luckily, there's, even though we hadn't been doing that really before the pandemic, there's people who have and who have done research and written a lot. So we, making sure that we do trainings as a staff, we've been able to use the funds that way, getting really high quality trainings for our staff to be able to learn how to use telehealth services appropriately with their families. So, hopefully getting back to some of the stuff that we wanted to do, some of those events. We have a summer program here that's wonderful. 2021, I'm hoping we get summer program back. So getting back to some of those things as well. And then, continuing to be able to reduce some of the barriers to treatment. We had envisioned some ways to use those funds to provide, to increase our ability to provide transportation to families coming into the clinic, which that could be a big barrier sometimes for families. And again, that's kind of on hold, but those plans are definitely, in the mix for the next couple of years.
I do want to say, if there's anything that this live is teaching me, is just about how strong, these communities are around you. With Circles and Ciphers, we had everybody throwing up the C's in the chat, and I'm seeing maybe some nicknames that you might not want to disclose.
We got the Under the Rainbow
G-Staz, what is that? Is that your nickname, G-Staz? There's a lot of rainbows in there. The community is strong. People are, engaged and loving it, So if anybody out there is wondering the type of community that Sinai has under the rainbow, you're seeing just a glimpse of it right now on our chat. So shout out to you. The engagement is, yup, there they go.
And they're talking about how you use hip hop and other modalities to support the youth. And I know Justin has one last question, but I want to ask one curveball question that wasn't on the list. For anyone who may have been getting therapy in person and is hesitant to start that telehealth process, or maybe beginning clinical help for the first time, supports, and they're entering telehealth, do you have any advice just for what to expect or how to treat it, with some patience maybe?
No, I think, patience is the right word. I think, one of the things that we had to do just as a team, and again, because this was new to us and we were learning as we went, for us, especially working with clients who may be mistrustful of systems in general, but also of mental health services, transparency is so important, right? So just being transparent, being honest, being direct about things. And so one of the things I think we acknowledge always with clients is that this is weird, right? This is weird and it's not ideal, right? So and I think acknowledging some of the challenges of that modality, this is not exactly how either of us want to be engaging in this relationship, and there's some strangeness that comes with it, right? If you're coming into my office for therapy, that's different than you being at home in your bedroom doing therapy with me, right? You might not want me in your bedroom. That's weird. Sounds weird, but you know what I'm saying? You don't want me in
To
your
see
home.
what my home looks like. Yeah.
Right, exactly. So just I think acknowledging some of those, just some of the awkwardness of the situation, I think helps put people at ease and kind of relax and know that, you know, for everybody's estimation, right, this is not going to be forever, that we're going to be getting back to, you know, being able to safely do some of the, you know, the services that are really important to do in person, and that this is a way to continue to support people, and this is a way to continue providing services with these really drastic limitations we have right now. But yeah, just that honesty and transparency, I think, goes a long way.
Yeah, and you spoke to it a little bit. We were talking about things are not going to be like this forever. So just as, you know, a healthcare professional, Dr. Greg is what they're dropping in the chat. You know, what do you expect? You know, mental health services to be like post-pandemic. You know, should people feel hopeful about the mental health support from the city or from Sinai moving forward? You know, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, you know, I'm a pretty hopeful person in general, so I'm gonna go hopeful on that. But I think two things I want to mention. You know, one is that I think one thing the pandemic has showed us is something that in the mental health field we know so much about the importance of relationships and relational connectedness and how those, you know, strong connections we have with other people, our protective factors, are important for our well-being, all of that. And I think this has shown us, you know, for better or for worse, when those things are kind of taken away from us or changed or reduced, there's a consequence, right? So there's a lot of people that are hurting that right now, and a lot of people that are feeling, you know, isolated and alienated and disconnected from the people that support them. So I think in some ways, you know, my hope is that the understanding and the realization that those things are more important after this, right? That we need to focus, we need to put our energies into that as a city, as a society. We need to make sure that we're providing those things for people, and getting them back to feeling whole. You know, that is an awareness that I think is building. And the other thing too is that, you know, the communities that we work with here at Sinai, North Lawndale, South Lawndale, and other communities in the city have been, you know, disproportionately affected by the pandemic, right? This is generations of systemic oppression, healthcare inequality that has led to some really bad outcomes for these communities. And so I think, you know, so we will be here. Sinai will be here. Under the Rainbow will be here. We're here now, and after this, you know, this is over, to continue to help people heal and to bring some peace and healing back to those communities. So
it's refreshing to hear that the reality is a part of Sinai's core mission and the understanding of those inequities that exist in healthcare and in mental health care. So big shout out to the whole team. Anything you want to leave our audience with, where they can find you, how to access Under the Rainbow, or maybe just get in touch with you to learn a little bit more?
Yeah, definitely. So we, you know, Sinai.org is the website for Sinai Health System. You can definitely find some information about Under the Rainbow on there. You can give us a call. Best way to find out, probably phone is the best way to find out some information about us. So here at Under the Rainbow, so definitely give us a call, and you know, be safe and be kind. I think this is a time when we need each other more than ever. So it's nice for people to approach others with kindness, I think, in this moment. So be safe.
Agreed. And be kind. Agreed. And thank you again, Dr. Greg.
Dr. Greg.
Dr. Greg.
From now on, Dr. Greg.
for coming in, sharing us a little bit about, you know, Sinai, the things that they hold true to themselves as well as what you're doing in the community. I'm sure a whole bunch of people appreciate your candor, your truth, and also the resources that you provide.
Yeah.
Thanks, Greg.
Be
well. Stay
Thanks
healthy.
for having me, and shout out to all the Under the Rainbow people on the chat. Appreciate you guys.
Shout out. Stay healthy over there under the rainbow.
Bye.
Thanks, guys. Peace.
I actually even saw a couple of their clients hop into the chat and talk about the work Under the Rainbow is done for them. So that was a great conversation.
If you're feeling what Dr. Greg and Sinai are doing, throw up those rainbows in the chat. You know, it's pretty amazing. Pretty amazing.
Oh, donations were going up again.
Oh, what
Someone wants to see a prom go down here in Chicago. for our 2020 seniors, for our 2021 seniors. If you want to make sure the DJ setup, the decorations are good to go, and we can have prom, please hit that donate button.
Yes, please. Yes. That's what Sworkshops is all about, providing a prom for 2020 graduating seniors. And you know what? The way it's going, we're going to have to do it again for 2021 graduating seniors. But also, we can't even move forward without me shouting out two more sponsors. One of you that the people might have already heard, but one that they don't know about.
Yeah.
Definitely want to shout out DCASE, the Department of Cultural Affairs and Special Events. You know, I just want to say, Commissioner, thank you personally for allowing us to get on this Teen Tuesday and rock out some opportunities that we're providing for the youth. You know, I know the city doesn't extend this platform often, but I'm glad that you are doing it now. So appreciate you all. And I also want to give a big shout out to one of our other sponsors, Chance the Rapper's 10 Day. Chance the Rapper's 10 Day. Chance the Rapper's 10 Day.
I'm taking 10 days.
So if you need a day, 2, or maybe even 10, take those days for yourself. We'll be moving from the grant portion to the tech side. Can you just give our viewers a little bit about what this is going to?
I'm too excited. So we really got to hear those who are doing the hands and hustle work in the community, providing services and support. And the biggest part of my state of mind is the tech platform that we're building. And you can think of this as a celebration of every one of those service providers in the city of Chicago. Whether it be a yoga studio, a taekwondo studio that teaches youth mindfulness before they begin taekwondo, or our many and greatly talented therapists who are giving and serving their city with clinical support.
I think, and just what we're talking about now is the spectrum of mental health that we have inside the guidebook. And if you don't mind, I know we didn't really prepare to say the pillars of my state of mind, or the 6 categories, but what types of wellness can our viewers look forward to seeing in the guidebook?
Absolutely. That's a great question. And I just want to start by saying the way that you view these service providers and interact with them will be unlike ever before. If you don't want to call a service provider, you're going to be able to hit them up. If you want to make sure that a service provider is accessible to someone you care about, you're instantly able to bring your network into your wellness network.
Yeah.
Some of those main highlights is we have group therapy and individual therapy. And I'm going to start with the clinical because if it's comfortable for you to speak about or uncomfortable, that's something that's right on either way because my state of mind supports both sides of that. Therapists and clinicians and group therapy for those who are experienced and those who may be trying it out for the first time.
So you're referring to clinical wellness, and that might be some of the wellness that is classically known. So you're talking about like psychotherapy, group therapy, individual therapy. I want to also share about some other. We have tech wellness, and that's going to be included in the guidebook. So your headspace, your talk space, things of that nature can be accessed right through my state of mind. What do we have? A movement-based
and recreational-based therapies. And what Justin highlighted there, going from clinical to tech, and now we're in this recreational space, is that if you thought mental health was prescriptive or only meant one answer or one service to cure you, it's not that simple. It's an ongoing process. It always will be. And when you can accept that and be brave to reach out for those services, it's a great step to take for some of those recreational spaces. Playing team volleyball or even playing a group sport that's followed with group discussions about mental health, which which exists in this city. So we just didn't want to leave any of those out.
Because you deserve the best.
Yeah.
But to talk a little bit about this revolutionary endeavor, we're going to have one of the people who are actually building the tech platform join us from Whiffley, formerly known as Punch Kick Interactive, right?
When we set out to find a team to build our guidebook, we knew that we needed somebody who did community-based work. Developing tech is really
it's hard.
It's hard. And to make it easier, Whiffley and Punch Kick and our next guest, Brad Carrera, I'll be letting you know about. Oh, he's a little sideways. I think you gotta flip your camera there.
Is this better?
There we go.
That's right. That's right, ladies and gents. I work in tech.
We promise outside of the live social space, Brad is focused on making sure that tech works in the mental health space, and that's why he's joining us today. Our main partner in the tech build in the guidebook, we welcome Whiffley and Brad. Welcome, Brad.
Yeah,
It's great to be here, guys. It's great to see y'all again, camera to camera. Hopefully we can get together face to face soon again. We're really looking forward to that.
Yeah. As soon as it's safe, and as a reminder, with that social distancing, wear your mask, okay?
No doubt.
Hand sanitizer. We are big advocates of staying healthy and safe. But let's bring it right back to it, and let's talk about what Whipfly does, and formerly Punch Kick, and what kind of tech you look to build for people, and who you are to the company, Brad.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys. So again, I'm Brad Carrera. I'm a product manager over at Whipfly, formerly Punch Kick. We build the best custom software for people like yourself all the way up to some of these bigger organizations. But we offer end-to-end services from user research to design to development. Even if you just have an idea scribbled on a napkin, we'll help you get it to the real deal, to the big stage. So offer a lot of different things over at Whipfly.
Turning basic ideas or creative ideas into a tech reality. Really cool stuff. Anyone who's out there, where can they access you if they're looking to build a product?
Yeah, trying to get an MSA or SOW created.
There you go. Now you're speaking our language. You can find us at digital.whipfly.com. So that's WIPFLI, digital.whipfly.com. It's hard to pronounce, but figured I'd spell it out for you guys.
Whipfly.
It kind of feels good to say, though, right?
Kind of rolls off.
It does.
But I really want to talk deep about, just like the troubles, the challenges, the solutions, because my state of mind isn't anything but, a tool to be used in such a crowded kind of, I wouldn't even want to say discombobulated, but it's just the mental health space is vast. Yep. So when we talk about what we want to accomplish with my state of mind, talk about just the challenges of building a guidebook, and how my state of mind is creating a world where those challenges are finally met with solutions.
Absolutely. So, with any kind of custom software approach, there's always challenges. But, y'all are really, breaking the mold here when it comes to mental health, when it comes to healthcare in general. And that's really why, I was so excited to get on this project, is because it's not a cookie cutter solution that, is a huge part of the value, but it's also a huge part of the challenge, right? So we're building something from the ground up, something brand new, something that's approachable for people, something that they're used to in terms of how to interact with it, how to interact with providers. And I think people are going to definitely be pleasantly surprised when they jump over from maybe their normal physician's website over to My State of Mind. It's going to be a really cool thing. I can't wait to debut it to the world for sure.
Yeah, and I think that, to Justin's question about these challenges, there's certainly been those challenges. So we're here to say with Brad that no matter what, if you have a tech idea, don't be afraid to give it a try. This was just something like Brad, you mentioned earlier, that we drew up on a whiteboard and then eventually developed and created what the user would need to have a meaningful experience in accessing mental health resources. And it became that simple. These challenges were then met with ideas that we all felt confident with. Did some of our ideas seem a little out there at first? Were we coming with impossible asks? How was it receiving our initial thoughts and what we wanted the guidebook to look like?
Absolutely. Well, I mean, nothing's impossible, not in software. Are y'all ambitious? Yeah, you're definitely ambitious, but we can definitely appreciate that too. Just like we said, we're not just putting out a cookie cutter solution. We're taking cues from Instagram. We're taking cues from Tinder. We're taking cues from all these different arenas, that aren't necessarily associated with healthcare, with mental wellness all the time. But for the people that we are building this for, they're the things that they're comfortable with using. So we wanted to make sure that we're building that into this product to make sure that it's understandable, it's usable, it's useful, all that good stuff.
So you heard it here. I mean, from the guy who's building it, that this My State of Mind is a youth tool. It's a tool that you should already feel naturally comfortable with. It's a tool that you don't need an instruction manual, a white sheet, or anything. It's something that you should inherently, feel comfortable with and aid in your journey of mental health. We talked about a little bit of the functionality, but I want to talk a little bit about just the aesthetic. Can you share anything about, what the aesthetic, we got the logo in the background, but what does the actual tool look like to you?
I mean, are y'all comfortable with me talking about this? Can we reveal some of this stuff yet? I haven't reviewed our
Let's
NDA
go.
recently.
Let's go.
Yeah, so like we said, I mean, I think when people think about mental wellness, when they think about healthcare, interacting with physicians, things like that, the clinical field, you have this very sanitized, very, like we said, cookie cutter, hard to use tool that you're just kind of stuck with. So this is bringing in a little bit of fun. It's bringing in a lot of color, a lot of new ideas, just to try to make people feel comfortable. I think, the first barrier is understanding that it's okay to reach out and look for help. And then, once you get past that barrier, you hit this digital tool that's impossible to use and figure out, and that's stopping people from really accomplishing their end goal. So, what we're trying to do is make sure that this is something that is interesting, is fun, and really just helps people get to where they need to be.
And this is, something that we're envisioning a next step. We tried to do something that wasn't available already and make a new solution available. But just in that larger sense, what do you see with the future of tech and mental health? I know there's a lot of telehealth happening now, but do you have that foresight? Can you predict what the future means for mental health and tech?
Man, okay. You asked me to show my cards here. Now, I would love to say, VR, AR, those buzzwords, things like that. But I think that's, sprinting before this vertical, before this service area is even able to walk. You guys are doing a great job, and us as a team, leading the charge and saying you don't need to just do what everyone else is doing. What you need to do is not just say, okay, here's the tool, deal with it, learn how to use it or don't, we don't care. But it's doing what you guys are doing and taking it from an approach that starts with empathy, talking with community leaders, talking with these at-risk youth that are actually gonna be using this thing, and then, going from there. So moving forward, I think the first big thing is doing what we're doing and not settling for the status quo. Talking to people, understanding what they need, understanding the problems that they need help solving, and not just saying, okay, deal with it. If you want to use this, you can figure it out, good luck. But understanding what they need and then giving them that so that they can, get the help that they need.
Wow.
Yeah, that's why we're working together. If you got radical ideas that aren't yet set in precedent or history, and it's a good idea, hit up Whitley and Brad.
Yeah. Any last words here, Brad?
I mean, I'm just ready to get back and get this thing out to the world, man. I mean, we've been working on this. We've had stuff cooking in the lab for a while now, and I'm excited to get it out, get feedback, keep evolving it, and making sure that we're on the right track here. So we're excited.
Thank you. And sometimes mental health is managing expectations. Thank you for managing our expectations so that the product our community gets is the best it can be. Shout out to Brad and the team. If anyone from Whitley or Punch Kick is tuning in, shout out to you.
Zach, thank you. Michael, it's a pleasure.
All right, Brad.
Appreciate it, guys.
Let's
good to see you. Be safe.
You don't often get to talk to the tech builders. Does Instagram let you talk to their developers to learn how it was built? No, we just know we hit live and it works and we're happy. But shout out to Brad, and then another big shout out to our sponsors.
Yes.
I am sorry, I have to point out the donations have gone way up. Thank you so much to anyone who's lent towards our prom that we will be throwing for the class of 2020 and 2021.
That's $525 again that have just been given directly to the students of Chicago, class of 2020 and 2021. Thank you for supporting them, and thank you for coming to our My State of Mind. Sworkshops Rebooted. I would love yet again to really thank this department. I don't think this department has gotten enough shine on this telecast, so I'm going to say it again. The Department of Cultural Events and Special Affairs, I would like to say thank you from the bottom of this social worker's heart, that you would give us the opportunity to provide the youth with access on this Teen Tuesday.
And I feel grateful that we do have a city resource that speaks to youth and their creativity. And you know what? I know they could use more of that funding. If you can think of any areas in our city that we could advocate for to alleviate funding from and give more to organizations like DCASE towards our community mental health. Shout out to DCASE for being here with us today, because we know that you do great work and we advocate for more great work and more funds for you.
Exactly. And one more sponsor we forgot to mention, Chance the Rapper's coloring book. You're feeling down, emotionally frustrated, grab a coloring book.
Absolutely. Coloring is one of my favorite things to do.
Yes.
While also listening to coloring books.
Yes. Oh,
you
yes.
Just bring it all together.
So we have about 6 minutes left on this live. Just really want to open it up to our viewers right now. If you have any questions about My State of Mind or the larger SocialWorks, this is your time to ask.
You go ahead and fire off those questions because we are here
We are
to
here
answer them.
right now. No questions.
No questions
No
just
questions
yet.
right
It's all
now.
good. We're patient.
Yeah, we are. But if they don't have any questions, I have a couple questions for you. What's been the best part about working on My State of Mind?
Yeah, there's so many great things. When you're passionate about something, it's hard to pinpoint it.
Really?
But meeting all these great practitioners easily. We had an idea, and that idea just flowered into something beautiful. And it's because of those we work with, the Department of Human Services, the Illinois Department of Human Services, the Chicago Department of Public Health. Most importantly, those private organizations and practitioners that support the community as well. Sista Afia, Kamisha Jones of Sista Afia, and her entire clinical and non-clinical team out there supporting. But I've learned more about mental health in our city than I ever have by working with all these great stakeholders.
If you were to ask me that question, which I feel like you just did.
Yes, I did.
I would say one of the best parts about working with this is creating the branding for it. We're working with this amazing individual and his team, Twan or Cap.
Twan's in the chat.
Oh,
Shout
wow.
out
I didn't even know you were there. Yo, Cap True, and we've been able to really fully redesign what mental health looks like. And I know that the fun, the look, it just gives you a virtual hug.
I see a great question from Caleb. We got one in the questions. I'm going to answer Caleb's in the chat. Sorry, if you go back down. All right, so how will SocialWorks track this initiative's success? And I think that's a great question, and also something that we've got to be careful for what that means. So mental health, success in mental health means that you've gotten through the front door in the My State of Mind space. So our goal is to connect people to service providers and make sure that they can access them and follow through. And if that access barrier is digital, we have remedies for that. If that access barrier is financial, we'll be announcing soon how we have remedies for that. So Caleb, great question. We'll have a bunch of analytics, what providers are being accessed more than others, clinical versus non-clinical. And we're not looking for success there, but we are looking to understand what people are comfortable with seeking in the mental health treatment space.
Really though, I mean, it's because this is tech, this people's user habits and things like that, things of, that the CDC takes, like 10 years to compile. We'll be able to know that information as it happens. So we're really excited to be super nimble, really flexible to the needs of our community. We actually got a real question, another one. We can't receive questions when we're doing this, but can we promote your page and open a donation link? Yes. So I think that was North Shore of Shy. Yes, please help us. Please give us money.
Thank you so much for that too, because for us to create this access point, it required a budget that keeps growing because new ideas are always brought to the table. I see do y'all want a custom My State of Mind custom max? We will donate prototypes. We appreciate it. Go ahead and DM us if you have interest with any kind of product collaboration. We all got our masks now. We're looking for masks for the community actually. So if you want to donate masks, we're happy to receive those.
I got another one from North Shore coming back. Do you guys have a brand strategist in place? If you do not, you have my time. Oh, wow. That's amazing. We do take in-kind and monetary donations. So, we want people's tasks to fit up with their talent. So please DM us and we can take our conversations from there. It says we have 2 minutes left. So get in the questions right now. We're only here till 5. Any more questions for the lovely My State of Mind and SocialWorks team?
And while we're waiting on those questions, today was just an experience that I appreciated because, again, we're all in our bubbles here during this pandemic. Just knowing what's happening on the outside of your bubble is super important. So if you're interested in certain types of activism, if you're interested in the movement, if you're interested in mental health and community mental health, just know that now's a great time for research. Everyone's saying, pick up a new skill, do this. No pressure, but one great thing you can do is learn about the like-minded work happening throughout Chicago.
Agreed. Well, we're just closing off on a minute right now. We're going to let it ride out to the end because you guys deserve that time. And I know somebody's right there, about to press send. So just go ahead and press send. We're right here, ready to answer any questions. We got a little over a minute left, but really just want to extend my same level of gratitude out here. We've had a constant 30 people viewing, and I love that. Thank you all for spending your time with us.
Yeah. This is the commonplace now, you know, find appreciation in even these digital connections because it's what we got for now. So we're going to be signing off here. You can learn more about my state of mind at MSOM4me or through our Instagram page here at SocialWorks. Thank you again to DCase. And are we throwing a big prom because of these donations or what?
Yes, we are.
Shout out. Thanks for joining us, everyone. Hit us up with those questions. We got you.